All right, everybody. This is going to be one of the more animated videos that I've ever made before, and not really about an upcoming forecast whatsoever. More so about the ongoing discussions about conspiracy theories and weather. And don't mind here, this is just satellite that I have ongoing here. Don't worry, the satellite did not create the weather, if that's what you're thinking. Nope, not true. This is just an image of our atmosphere right here. This is an image of our Earth that's being taken. This is infrared satellite image for those that are not sure what you're seeing. You're looking at cloud tops and lightning, courtesy of weathernerds.org. So nothing too fancy going on in this backdrop image right now, so don't you worry about that. If you are someone who believes in some of that bullcrap, that's fantastic for you. It's not true. So let's get into it right away because I don't want to waste any more time. First, let's see, I wrote down some points here, so I'm going to go through them very clearly and tell you why if you believe this stuff, it's idiotic, stupid. You should maybe seek psychotic help, or you just need more information. All right. Sometimes it's not as extreme. Sometimes we like to say, this person's an idiot. Maybe they just don't have the right education. Some people say some idiotic things. Doesn't mean they're an idiot. If you hear anything in the background, that is my lovely 6-month-old golden retriever puppy. So don't be alarmed by that, who is hopefully going to fall asleep very soon. The government, let's start with this one, HARP and the government controls. HARP, for those that are not sure what that stands for, I'm pretty sure it's the High Frequency Active Aurora Research Program, or something close to that. And all it is a research facility in Alaska. It does not affect the weather. I don't know why people are so obsessed with that. The energy output of that research facility is, even compared to, let's say, like a thunderstorm, is irrelevant. It's so minuscule. It's just ridiculous. That one's kind of been memed a little bit, so we're not too concerned about that one right now. Luckily, this is an active one, that some even political people, I don't want to get too much into politics, but if you're a politician and you're advertising or trying to promote this, this is very idiotic of you to potentially do that, and you're just making yourself and your family look very bad, because all it comes off as is looking extremely uneducated in a subject that you have very little knowledge about, and you're just going to seek what you want to seek versus seeking the truth. And I think that's very important. So if you're just going to look out for the information you want to hear, you have also probably some life problems you need to address as well, if that's the case as well. So I feel more bad for you if that's the case. Chemtrails are used to control the weather. Nope, that's not the case. The jet engines do emit a little bit of water vapor, into the colder part of our upper atmosphere, but and those are those ice crystal trails that you see. But nope, they are not. They are normal exhaust, like exhaust particles. They are not controlling the weather. And also, there's no mechanism for spraying freaking chemicals at 30,000 feet that would, be able to control people's minds, or target the weather. It's just not true. So again, if you do believe this, you should potentially see a therapist, seek psychiatric help in some way, potentially go to a facility to help with that. Not HARP, they won't be able to help you with that. I apologize, but you should go see someone to talk to about this, or just become more educated, because I don't know what you are going through potentially if you do believe this. Cloud seeding. We've seen this before. People talk about this as well. If you do believe in this, I am sorry. I feel bad for you, because it's just not true at all. Cloud seeding can only enhance precipitation in the most ideal conditions when it's already pre-started. It's not going to create weather events all by themselves. It's not even going to create much of anything, to be honest. It's actually just only going to enhance something if it's there already, and it's only going to be imagined by like a few percent. Imagine, let's say, you can run 20 miles an hour. It's let's say that that's the case. It's only going to help you run 20.2 miles per hour. So it's not going to make you imagine if you've never been a gold medal sprinter before. It's not going to make you run, go from, let's say, 12 miles an hour to 25 miles an hour. It's just not going to happen. And it's also not going to make you go from someone who's never run before. Let's say you only jog at 3 miles an hour. You're not going to be, or walk at 3 miles an hour. You're not going to be able to run 25 miles an hour, for example. That's not how it works. The cloud seeding does not create hurricanes. It does not create thunderstorms. And it's technically only operational in, I believe, less than 10 states. So and it's very strictly there's very strict limits in terms of what people can do with that as well. So it's not going to trigger a catastrophic 20-inch rain event flood, right? It's not going to turn someone from being able to, let's say, run 1 mile an hour to 20 mile an hour. It's not going to make a 1-inch rain event turn into a 20-inch rain event. That is not how cloud seeding works. Even if it were to happen with the Texas flooding, and then we just start getting into hypotheticals about that. So it is very, very annoying that we have to address this stuff, but it is not going to cloud seeding is not going to create a 4 trillion gallon flood event, which we just saw in Texas. So if you do believe that, again, consider seeking psychiatric help. It may be of importance. Go seek education. Maybe go, I don't think college is necessary, but that is a spot you can get educated if you do believe it, or if you need it. That could be very, very helpful. There's lots of good professors in the world that can help with that stuff, or just in general, Google, AI, ChatGPT, Grok. How about you use some of our artificial intelligence that can help with that stuff as well, instead of seeing what you want to believe. So I can only beat a dead horse so much with some of this stuff, but that's just the reality. Let's see, another one. Some people think tornadoes are fake. That's not true at all. Why don't you speak to the people in Alabama from 2011 and ask them if they think tornadoes are fake. Let's go to radar and the stuff that people talk about with that. There's a lot of things we can go into the radar. The stuff I'm seeing on radar is just pure stupidity lately. Absolutely pure stupidity. I feel bad for these people that believe that are spending so much time and energy into something that is just not true. People thinking outflow boundaries. People thinking birds, people thinking trees, people thinking bats that are being picked up on radar. People think storms are being initiated off radar. That's not true at all. Radar is literally taking an image of something. It is not doing any of that at all whatsoever. People are trying to claim they're seeing so many things, and that's just not true whatsoever. Radar is actually using the same wave frequency as, or like a radio or a microwave. They're not like people think they're doing some crazy thing. People think they're emitting sound. That people think they're hearing buzzing coming off of radar. That's not true at all whatsoever. If you think you are hearing sound off the radar itself, you should seek psychiatric help immediately. Immediately, you should seek psychiatric help very, very quickly. I'm sure there's a hotline that could help or something. I don't know. There's got to be something that could help you with that, or get your hearing checked. it's not that hard. It's not that hard to go and seek the truth versus seeking what you want to hear. Some people can actually turn themselves into believing they're hearing something. That's how powerful the brain is, that they think they're hearing something or they are hearing something and it's not the radar at all. Especially at a National Weather Service location, there's a lot of equipment around around a National Weather Service station. A lot of those sites. So it's possible you are hearing that and not the radar, because those waves are not emitting sound. They're literally, it's a radar beam that is taking a straight shot image of the atmosphere going like this. We've talked about it before many times. It's a radar beam here and it's taking an image going like this of the atmosphere. That is what it is doing. So there is no crazy stuff going on with the radars. As much as people would love to believe it, it is just not true whatsoever. I believe, yeah, like I mean, it's just ridiculous. It's absolutely ridiculous. Radar, you got to view it as like a passive. It's like a storm spotter, is what you got to view it as, not a storm creator. That's it. It's simply just sending out a signal that waits for it to bounce off whatever particles it's viewing in the atmosphere. That's all the radar is doing. There's no chemicals involved. There's no heat. There's no beam weapon, which some people think there is. None of that is true. None of that is simply true. No, the radar did not create flooding in Chicago today. I can't believe it. No, the outflow boundaries coming together were not a result of the radar. Outflow boundaries met up in Florida, for example, which happens nearly every frickin' day, and it made thunderstorms happen because of the atmosphere, not because of the radar. And if you believe that, like I said, I don't have a number for you. I wish I got one before the video. I'm sure there's a hotline or something out there that can really help you with this, because it's just not true at all whatsoever, and I sincerely feel bad. Next, let's see. Satellites, again, we talked about that in the beginning. This right here, they're picking up images of our Earth. And they are relaying those images through, for example, a website like this. And this is how we're viewing them. No, satellites, nothing from space. I'm sorry, as much as you may want to believe it, nothing from space is going to project energy into creating storms. Sorry, that's not happening. With the technology, does not exist. And if you want to continue to go down that path, well, then you can go waste your time on that. Wildfires are not being created whatsoever by I mean, people are also thinking that wildfires are doing some crazy stuff, and it's just not true whatsoever. People think that the government is creating wildfires. That is not true whatsoever at all. Wildfires are typically started from in like California. Look at the Santa Ana winds. Typically in a drought, in a dry season, for example, or sometimes lightning can start wildfires as well. Sometimes people themselves can start wildfires too. But no, the government is not manually creating wildfires to create for political agendas. That's not happening whatsoever at all. Again, if you believe this, I seriously think you should get some help, or seek education, one or the other, or something else. I don't know. Possibly medicine. I can't help you with other stuff than that. And I would say a final one is climate change. Climate change has gotten super politicized now, and I do not care for that whatsoever. There's an overwhelming amount. I could do a whole video breakdown on climate change, but that there is plenty of evidence that is backed to show, for example, the greenhouse effect that we look at. Actually, took an entire course on this. Not the greenhouse, but climate change itself, and in the emissions that we're releasing into the atmosphere. Yes, it's accelerating the natural rate and progression of the warmth that we're seeing across the earth right now. And again, I'm not politicizing it. I don't care what your political beliefs are. Just relaying the facts of what is going on in our planet right now. And again, it doesn't mean the world's ending. It's not over. Regardless of climate change or not, there's going to be record events that happen every year, anyways. And you can't single out individual events to make your case every single time for climate change until there's been the studies to prove it. If you want to be a scientist, then you gotta have the science to back it up. All the science. That's the reality. So you can't just, as soon as something happens, you can't just say it was climate change automatically. You can't. You gotta have the research, the data, the evidence to back it up, to support it. So yeah, that about does it. We covered a good amount of topics on this. It is extremely annoying what is going on. I'm beyond annoyed because I can't take it anymore. I can't take it. I don't address the stuff in tweets typically, so I figured, you know what, why not do it on a video format? Because this is the best way I could think of. And man, I feel like we let off some good steam talking about some of this stuff. Again, none of this is any personal attacks on anybody, or any political affiliation whatsoever. It is simply just me relaying that I'm annoyed with what I'm seeing. So annoyed right now. And I feel bad for people that believe this stuff. Because there's actually some people that just don't have the education and are actually curious. So for those people, I hope this help clears it up. But for the other ones, I'm sorry.